Alright, hello everybody, it's me, Clunk. This is chapter 4 of You and Him, okay? The new chapter. Make sure you watch the rewritten chapters 1 to 3 in the previous episode, okay? Before watching this. But let's get right to it. Restrain him! Don't let him escape. Hold him right there. There's a cacophony of voices as chaos bursts through the double doors of the church. Adam trips over his feet on a piece of raised carpet rolled through the center aisle of the pews in his frantic bid to escape the men hunting him down, the copper tang of blood flooding his mouth where he accidentally bites his own tongue. He flips onto his back, trying to kick at the hands wrapping around his ankles, jerking him forward into their grasp. Okay, alright, stop jerking him off. Tears sting at his eyes, but he forces them back as he puts up a fight while the men wrangle him into a standing position, pinning his arms behind his back in order to prevent him from lashing out further. "Let me go," he screams as they cover his head with a burlap sack, fear entrenching him in a thick sludge that weighs him down. Shaking so hard his teeth chatter. I think this is a flashback, by the way. But he has to remain strong. He has to. It's the first thing he was taught. If you lose to fear, it's all over before it even begins. Let me fucking go. He tries kicking a leg out, but he's shoved back onto the ground when it's clear he's going to go willingly, and he's half drug in what feels like the opposite direction of the double doors. Adam stumbles up the stairs leading up to what he's sure is the altar. Dread crawls up his spine at the realization that they cornered him here like a trapped animal for a reason. But he doesn't understand. He's done nothing wrong, nothing to warrant this sort of treatment, so why? He grunts as he's twisted around and shoved into something hard that forces him to bow at the waist. What? A fist grabs the back of the burlap sack covering his head before shoving his face into something cold that steals the breath from his lungs and robs him of thought as he gags. He can't breathe. He can't breathe. He tries bucking his captors off of him, choking on what he now realizes is water as it floods his lungs. Waterboarding! And stings his nostrils as his attempts at breaking free useless. Soft chanting begins above him. Starts slow before building, all of the men's voices united as one. Is it a hymn? A prayer? A curse? Or something else? I don't want to chill. I want to hydrate. He can't tell. Their words are muffled as he silently screams into the water, bubbles rising around him as he expels precious air in a moment of fear and confusion. Tries to keep himself conscious, but the darkness inside of the burlap sack is starting to become all-encompassing. He starts to fade. His body weakens and he's going slack, the calm of dying settling over his body when he's yanked out from his watery grave. Got me some soup? Great timing, we just finished waterboarding Adam. He sputters and coughs, his body desperate to drain out the water that entered him as rays of light peek through the burlap sack. Hope rises. Adam tries warding off his captors, thrashing around again when he's forced back into the water, despair taking over once more as darkness bleeds in. How long are they going to do this? I don't know. I don't remember this as a baptism. You know, I remember just one dunk when I was a kid, but I guess Adam needs multiple. He's real dirty. Till he passes out. Dies. Second time around, he's weaker than the first, worn as his body begs for air. Someone help me. It's a pathetic thought. Weak and spineless. Yet he can't help but plead for a savior, just like he did when he was little. Back then, there was always one person he could run to whenever he got a scraped knee or hurt himself and broke his arm when trying to climb a tree to pet a cat. One person who always came through no matter what. A woman with brown and wavy hair that matched his own. He used to hum while she stood over a stove in their tiny little kitchen, her feet bare against the yellowed tile when he'd run up to her with tears in his eyes. Is she calling him now? He could almost smell the aster flowers from the field behind their old home. They envelop him in their scent. He imagines a familiar presence approaching him, her touch gentle as she lays her hand upon his head, her bottom lip quivering at the sight of him so bruised. Can I go home now? He asks. He's starting to feel oddly warm and at peace, and he wants to go wherever she is. But the presence shakes her head, her brown hair swishing around her face like a halo and her eyes watery. Why can't I? Is it because I failed to fulfill my promise? The warm presence opens her mouth to speak. Right as he's dragged out of the water a second time, he sags into the arms of the men trying their best to kill him. Why? He croaks out, water gurgling from his lips. Why are doing this? The men don't answer. Instead, a new voice chimes in, their footsteps echoing as they come into position on the opposite side of the altar, their shadow causing a shift in light through the burlap sack. Because, the newcomer says simply, this is one of the punishments for complete disobedience. Adam freezes at that. He recognizes the voice. Is this his dad? He'd know it from anywhere. He tries calling out, begging for him to stop because he gets it now. He understands. But before he can, he's submerged once more. The salt of his tears mixing with the water as his cries are lost beneath the surface. His voice stripped from him as he's held in place as the world goes dark once more. He never pleads for her help again because he knows she can't help him. Not anymore. Oh, he's got a scar now. He's so cool looking. Wow. And he's got the reverse fishnets. Adam opens his eyes, half expecting to find himself in that position once again. I think God is Adam's dad. I think so too. Only to find he's still sitting between the church pews with his arms crossed over his chest. Near the podium is where all the fun is taking place. A man who isn't Adam pleads for forgiveness as his face gets shoved into a basin full of ice-cold holy water. Adam keeps his expression neutral as the man struggles. It's not the torture that bothers him. He's damn well acquainted with waterboarding people. It's the message behind the torture that sinks like lead in his stomach. He wasn't called just for a meeting, but to see the results of what disobedience can lead to. A reminder for him not to stray. Adam's first experience with a cleansing was meant to deter him from acting out, betraying those he swore his loyalty to. The following ones were more reminders, just in case he forgot the first to go around. He came out of them alive. The same can't be said for the man with his head still locked in the basin. There's no chanting, no prayer, nothing for the man who's going to die because he went against the oath. The man gets pulled up again by the scruff of his neck. Gurgling noises elicited from his throat as he strains to speak, water staining the front of his white button-up. Adam guesses he's some sort of government official who got too fucking cocky and assumed his connections would keep him safe. The man clearly underestimated his will. And how many people are under his oath? My family! He shouts, no doubt in a last-ditch effort to save his tail after learning threats of his own connections didn't work. They won't survive without me. At least let me see them. He's dunked back under, his words cut off as he's held under. It's easy to figure out what his final request is. They always want to see their family before they're killed. Some trying to use the tactic in order to gain mercy from their would-be murderer. Adam knows because he's heard the same damn line more times than he can count. He recognizes every plea, speech, and demand they can drum up just from the first syllable alone. And yet, Adam never saw you coming. Come. Drumming his fingers along the base of his thighs, Adam checks his phone on reflex for news about your current condition. Nothing from Saffron. Adam sneers as he shoves the phone back into his pocket, scowling as he leans back in his seat. A cult? More like an Illuminati, like kind of level cult, I think. But yeah, basically a cult. Of course not. A cult I would like to call the Roman Catholic Church. I'm kidding. Seriously, I'm just having a laugh. They are using Christianity, though, apparently. Saffron said the surgery went well, and you were recovering from it, but you haven't woken up yet. The reason you passed out in the first place was due to you going into hypovolemic shock when your aunt shot you with the .22 caliber handgun she kept lying around. Saffron then tried going into explanations about your x-ray and other medical-related jargon that Adam didn't give two shits about, to which he finally had to interrupt him and demand to know if you were going to live or not. Saffron never gave him a direct answer. Fucking useless, Adam mutters. At the very least, Saffron better tell him whether or not you keeled over. He deserves to know that much. Glancing back up towards the robed men, he sees that they're now carrying the dead corpse of the man they were drowning down the steps of the dais, like pallbearers would when lifting a coffin at the end of a funeral. He watches as foam drips from the man's lips. His empty gaze remains trained above them, and Adam looks up to find a mosaic depicting the exact moment when his namesake accepted the fruit from the tree of knowledge. What a fucking annoying reminder. He looks down sharply, his jaw ticking in annoyance. Another message or coincidence? Adam couldn't tell, as there are rarely coincidences whenever he's involved. He's learned that lesson a long time ago. As soon as the doorbell door is shut behind the group of robed men, Adam pulls himself up from the pew and heads towards the confessional booth. He closes the wooden door behind him before he takes a seat on the wooden bench, settling back against the wall, waiting about 10 to 15 minutes until he hears a distinct click on the other side. Another minute passes before the center window opens to reveal wire meshing and blinding white light. That's a yellow light, actually. Adam looks away from the eye strain. Saffron told me you called him, said you wanted to see me. No, Adam, that's not how we conduct ourselves here. You know as well as I do what a confessional booth is for. Adam's eyes cut towards the window before regret sets in and he's forced to look away. How much does he know? What are you implying? There's a soft, almost amicable chuckle from the other side. I'm not implying anything, my child, but surely there's something you'd like to share. After all, the light grows brighter through the window, and Adam flinches at the sudden assault on his retinas. He's forced to look away. You never told me you were injured, so imagine my surprise when I found out through the tabloids that you got hurt on a hike, and never said a word about it to me, but deigned to tell the rest of the world through an interview. Why would you keep something like that from me? I thought we were always honest with each other, Adam. Adam doesn't react right away. He already saw this coming from a mile away the moment Saffron informed him that he called, wishing to speak with Adam one-on-one. He needs to keep his answers vague enough to avoid outright lying, but not so much that he raises suspicion. Adam keeps his voice level as he responds. I wasn't keeping it from you. I got busy. That's all. You know how I am when it comes to work. And what about the truth of that injury? I know you didn't get it from a simple stroll in the mountains. Here comes the annoying part. My last target got lucky. They got one strike in, but they've been handled. It won't happen again. Silence. Adam's eyes skirt towards the light on the other side of the confessional, noticing that it flickers every few minutes. There's no visible sign of someone on the other side of the booth, but his presence is usually easy to feel, especially when it comes to the shift in his moods, like the air itself is changing. Right now, though, Adam can't feel anything, and that in and of itself fills Adam with an overwhelming sense of dread as the silence stretches, drawn out further by Adam refusing to break down and admit to all of his sins. Adam knows that's what he's waiting for him to crack under the pressure, and share the things he might not have found out otherwise. But if he does, he loses the one possible lead he has. You. So Adam bites his lips so hard he tastes the tang of blood on his tongue. When it's clear Adam refuses to budge, there's a soft tap, 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 coming from the other side of the confessional booth. The rhythm reminds Adam of dripping water, and he's reminded of the cleansing he witnessed earlier, of the water trickling from the dead man's parted lips as he stared up into the void that comes with death as the robed men carried him off. Adam swallows hard, his breath's becoming quicker. Shaking so hard he's almost certain he can sense Adam's building dread and looming guilt. Still, Adam keeps quiet. When he speaks again, there's only cold detachment, devoid of any concern or warmth as he prods further. And how exactly did they manage to get lucky? No one's ever pulled the wool over your eyes, so I find it hard to believe there isn't more to what happened. Free yourself of this burden you're carrying, Adam. Tell me what they did. I don't understand why it's so fucking important if I already told you I've taken care of it. Language. The hiss of that single word makes Adam flinch. You know I loathe that sort of vulgarity. You will not utter such words in the presence of your lord. I know. I'm sorry. If you're sorry, then answer my previous question. I only ask because I'm worried about you, my child. And just like that, his earlier warmth returns just as quickly as it left. You trust me, don't you? I've proven myself to you, haven't I? I've cared for you, sheltered you, done everything in my power to give you the push you needed to get to where you are today. I know. I didn't have to. I could have abandoned you, walked away and let you rot. But here I am trying to understand you. Let me understand you, Adam. Adam closes his eyes and lets his head fall into his hands, his fingers carding through his hair. He should tell him. He needed to tell him. About you and how weak and impulsive and stupid he became whenever you were involved. How much that single fucking kiss changed everything for him. How it haunted him. How he almost tried to kiss you again until you got interrupted. How he almost gave in. He should admit to his weaknesses and be done with you, but he needs you. And if God were to discover Adam's reluctance, no matter the reasoning or excuses, he knows for a fact God would order him to finish the job. He could hold all the answers Adam needs, and God wouldn't care because Adam took an oath to obey his will, and would argue that your continued existence would only taint him further, distract him from extracting that information. Yeah, it's a bad idea, Adam. I think your God is kind of a dick. You already did it once, so what's to stop you from doing it again? He knows God would force his hand as a means to protect him from himself and these shameful feelings. But Adam's already made up his mind. You're staying alive for as long as he fucking needs you. I got careless and cocky. I underestimated them. And they grabbed a hold of my knife to use against me. That's all there is to it. So nothing inherently special about what they did other than you underestimating them. Nothing at all. Adam doesn't answer, allowing him to fill in the blanks for himself. I see. Very well then. The soft tapping sound halts, and Adam hears the rustle of robes. You may go, but remember this, my child. Dread swells inside Adam as God delivers his final message. I always find out the truth, and if you're lying to me or keeping secrets, you know I cannot save you from the consequences that will follow, because even I have my limits. Do I make myself clear? Yes. He tries to keep the tremor out of his voice. Are you certain? You don't sound as confident as you normally do. Yes, Father, I am certain. Then you are freed from your sins by God's will. You may go. Adam forces himself into a stand despite his shaking legs before he rips open the door, tries to remain calm as he exits the repurposed church, keeping his eyes trained forward. He refuses to take another look at the mosaic that mocks his own struggles from above. By the time he reaches the rental car, he collapses into the driver's side. He's breathing so hard, his breath coming in quick pants as he rests his forehead against the steering wheel, one of his hands clutching his shirt like he's searching for a lifeline to keep him grounded. He needs to leave before anyone sees him. To panic is to admit guilt, and he's panicking. In the middle of his struggle, he feels his phone buzz, and he reaches for it with trembling fingers before grinding out a "What?" as soon as he answers. The other end stays quiet before Saffron's voice filters through. I see that you met with him, but I'm calling to inform you that they are starting to wake up. Adam's breath catches. Finally, some good fucking news. I'll be there. He hangs up before taking another minute to collect himself as he starts the car. Adam spots a shadow in the window, and his gut clenches, but he doesn't have time to discern whether or not he's standing there, watching Adam's every move. He needs to pay you a visit. So I wonder if this is gonna, turn around completely into, a plot to protect you. Also, Saffron's totally gonna rat, right? Saffron stands beside the arched window that peers out towards the church parking lot, holding his cell phone in a tight grip. Oh, he wasn't even at the place. Unbeknownst to Adam, he too was called upon God. He was to remain out of sight until God permitted Adam to leave so he could witness the truth of the situation. Saffron overheard the conversation in the confessional. Achoo! Oh, excuse me. Then he watched as Adam broke down before he sped out of the lot. He witnessed everything in the exact sequence of events that God predicted would happen. Saffron didn't need to tell God anything. From the moment Saffron answered his phone, he already knew something was going on with Adam, that the young man refused to share or talk about with either of them. Thanks, guys. God had called for a meeting in an effort to allow Adam to come clean and share all of the events from that day. But he hadn't. Instead, he kept quiet, keeping everything from God, while Saffron only knew Adam intended to keep you alive because he claimed you were useful to him. Saffron didn't know the full story because Adam refused to let him in. He thought God would be different. Adam respected God, so if he couldn't make Adam open up... Don't unbless me, you piece of shit. Get over here, Daniel. I'm gonna bless you. Your Satanist ass. Then they have a real problem on their hands, and Saffron's grip on his phone tightens. Oh yeah, I'm getting the holy water. You little bitch. It's obvious that Adam won't be keeping his end of the deal. Not without reckless and how out of control he's acting. Yeah, I'm gonna ungay your ass. Footsteps echo as they approach Saffron, stopping just a few feet shy from where he's standing. Saffron does not turn to face him. Doing so would go against the strict rules that he and the other band members are required to abide by. God may gaze upon you, but never you upon him. Page 132, paragraph 4 of the Doctrine. Oh my god! They're in some deep cult shit. You followed my instruction. It isn't a question. I always do what is asked of me. You know that, Father. Adam did too, and now he's straying. Am I wrong to assume you called me here in order to help save him? God hadn't taken the opportunity to cleanse Adam, but let him walk free instead, so that's the only conclusion he can come to. God wasn't just giving Adam a chance to unveil all of his mistakes. That's some real cult shit, by the way, so you'll never see the leader, by the way. So then if you ever try to, like, turn on the cult, you can't actually point out who the leader is. A chance to unveil all of his mistakes, but for Saffron to see into the bitter truth of the matter as well. Your very existence is bringing Adam to ruin. The situation is far worse than he realized. There's no one else I can ask, and no one else who cares about that boy as much as I do. And what will you have me do? He asks as he looks down at his phone from where he received word that you were awake. You know my expectations. Save him, but remain discreet in how you go about it. That's all I ask. Saffron hears the retreating of footsteps and the closing of a door. He no longer feels God's presence, but the will of his words linger. Saffron must obey his will, or Adam will truly fall. Kill me! Kill me! Dying absolutely sucks. One moment you're trying to maim your stalker slash would-be killer, and the next you're getting shot by your aunt and falling into aforementioned stalker's arms. Of all the faces you had to witness while keeling over, it was his. Why has he got an apple? What's even worse is that you're now staring at that same man. You watch as he carves into an apple. A shiny red strip of skin hangs from the flesh before he plucks it off and places the now peeled apple on the table beside him before grabbing another one. He hasn't noticed you observing him, so you take the opportunity to look around. The room you find yourself in seems devoid of color. Really, it seems really purple to me. There's nothing but plain white walls and flooring, while the room itself reeks of bleach and disinfectant, which is likely the reason for your pulsing headache. Glance back at Adam, the only splash of color around. He's a giant purple grape in an otherwise empty fruit bowl. He's radiating the purple. That's hilarious. If only you could squish him like one. Pop. Though it's odd now that you're giving him a closer look. Why does the air around him seem so... You squint and try concentrating to figure out what exactly seems so off about him. You withhold a gasp as a sharp pain sears through your head. What the hell was that? Clutch your face with a wince. Feel like someone just swung an axe down into your skull. The pain zipping all the way down the length of your spine to the tips of your toes. To your relief, the pain doesn't last long. Almost as soon as it appears, it dissipates, like you never experienced the feeling at all. Okay, that hurt. When you peer up again, Adam's back to normal. Whatever you saw must have been a trick of the light. Yeah, it must have been the wind. Brushing off the odd experience, you choose to focus on something that doesn't strain your vision, which turns out to be Adam in his presence. Did you die? Are you hallucinating? Or are you asleep? You sigh at the thought and nestle deeper into your pillows. Not Adam being my sleep paralysis demon. Or wait, no. If I'm dead, then... Try mulling this over while rolling onto your side, but get caught up by a bunch of tubes hooked into your skin, making the transition impossible. What the... As you lift your arm to examine the IV injected into the inside of your elbow, you hear a harsh thunk come from Adam's direction. His fingers are curled around the hilt of his knife from where he just embedded it into the table, and he smirks at you. Can't help but roll your eyes at the display. Yes, Adam, you know how to stab things. Good for you. Everyone knows how intimidating you are. I want TV in my... I didn't say TV, I'm sorry. I want TV in my elbow. That's honestly so based of you, Mikey. You made the right choice. The words that follow are even worse. About time you joined the living. I was getting tired of waiting. This is my 50th apple I've peeled. Get better soon. Adam says and hauls himself to his feet. I was about to peel my own purple grape, if you know what I'm saying. Jorking it. A smooth movement despite how exhausted he appears. Dark circles smudging beneath his darkened eyes that flash red with malice. Did his injuries keep him up at night? You sure hope they did. Get fucked. I do hope they did. Herp. Herp. What? Adam demands when he sees you openly staring at him, his hands curling around the railing of your bed as he glowers down at you with his typical stick-up-the-ass demeanor. I'ma stick something up his ass. You can't help but give a condescending smirk of your own. You look like shit. Why don't you take a look in the fucking mirror? You're the one tied down to a hospital bed, not me. Unlike you, pretty boy, I don't have to worry about saving face for a bunch of fans. Too bad they can't see you now. Don't fucking call me that. What? Pretty boy? Why? Because the only good thing about you is your face? Because it sure as hell isn't your personality. That needs major adjustments. I'm sure being behind bars would fix that. Better yet, the death penalty considering how many people you've probably killed. You never know when to shut up, do you? I think I preferred you comatose. Wow, great bedside manners you have there. Did you run around chewing out elderly patients to get your kicks when you couldn't get them from me? So rude for absolutely no reason? I like a mean bitch. What can I say? Or at least, you have to assume there's other patients floating around considering the room you're tucked in. It's got ER written all over it. A vein throbs at Adam's temple over your comment. 1. Did I hit a sore spot? You quirk your brow in challenge and Adam jabs a finger in your direction. I saved your ass by bringing you here, but it's clear I should have let you bleed out on the trailer floor. You should be grateful, little devil. You're still alive because of me. Oh, so you can give nicknames, but I can't? Why am I not surprised by the hypocrisy, you misogynistic scumbag? Speaking of which, I wouldn't even be in this position if it wasn't for you. You stabbed me and hunted me down. So tell me, what am I exactly thanking you for? Go on. I want to know how your egotistical brain justifies this. You're in this hospital because your aunt shot you, not me. And why did she shoot me? Oh yeah, she was aiming for you! You say, sitting up in your bed because you'd rather not spend another minute having him loom over you. You'll never let him have the advantage of acting like he's above you. You'd rather get shot again. Why don't you try making a better case for yourself? Because if you ever look into a career as a lawyer, you'd suck at it. As much as you suck D's nuts. Adam's lips curl into a snarl. I trained all my life to be a lawyer, and my dad said I couldn't be one. I had to be a pop star. You're defending her when she didn't give a shit about you when you collapsed and fell unconscious. Oh, and I suppose you did. You bark out a harsh laugh. Meep. You're unreal, Adam. I understand why she did what she did. You put her into that position and made her snap. You tortured her and antagonized her and invaded her home. And you were the reason everything went down the way it did. Otherwise, I would have been cleaning some gross dishes. You think you can gaslight me into believing you? That you're the better person because you brought me here and she was the actual villain? You're a joke if you think that. No, I'm alive because you're attracted to me. He blushes. You're alive because I need you. Carnally. Oh. You want to use me for something? Even better. Here I thought you were trying to lead me to believe that you actually cared. You clasp your hands in mock delight. So what do you need me for? Sex? Information? To act like a human punching bag? Because if it's for sex, then you're going to have a rude awakening since I'll fucking castrate you before you ever get the chance to touch my body. You'd rather get down with a cactus. I'd rather get down with a cactus. You watch as a red flush creeps up his neck at your response. He's gripping the railing so hard, because he's imagining me railing him. And eyeing the cable belonging to your heart monitor for so long that you're sure he's debating on using it as a makeshift garrote to choke you out. You don't care. You're wishing you could do the same after everything he's put you through. There's not a human alive who you hate as much as Adam. Seems like a enemies to lovers kind of situation, clearly. Adam says nothing as he reaches into his back pocket and tosses a handful of photos into your lap. We're going to get one more. He's going to save us one more time, and we're going to fall for it, just like that. Boom. You frown as you reach for one of the glossy photographs and realize you're staring at a picture of you on the night you entered your aunt's trailer. Lights from Saffron's reefer truck illuminated your face. You could see the building dread reflected in your eyes as you tried preparing yourself to face off with Adam. You let the photograph fall from your fingertips and you gesture towards the pictures. Hydrate check. And a stretch check. But not too long. Everybody hydrate or dihydrate, or I kill you. Make sure you stretch properly, okay? You let the photograph fall from your fingertips and you gesture towards the pictures, trying to discern why exactly he's showing you these or the reason they were taken in the first place. What is this? Insurance, so you behave and do what I tell you. What do you mean by that? Adam says nothing as he reaches for the remote next to your bedside and clicks on a small TV hanging in the corner of the room. Brings up the news channel and a recording of a broadcast, one that shows the date after you entered your aunt's trailer. Oh my, are they pinning my aunt's death on me? Dread fills your stomach. You watch as the camera pans in on a news anchor, a woman with dark, shoulder-length hair and sparkling green eyes, no doubt are in her early 20s, as she addresses the audience with a somber expression. Beneath her, the news ticker reveals that a fire broke out in a trailer park. Your heart sinks in your chest. Our leading story today takes place in Blue Acres, a trailer park located on the outskirts of Park Bend, Arizona, where a fire broke out in the middle of the night. Sources say that the fire started through unknown means. We have Pamela currently on the scene. There's a moment of transition where another news anchor stands at the entrance of the trailer park. A worn-down welcome sign stands at her left. The woman herself wears a somber expression. This is Pamela coming to you live from just outside of Blue Acres. According to authorities, the owner of the trailer where the fire broke out was nowhere to be found. Oh my god, wow. She turns and gestures to the trees positioned at the far end of the park. While damages were kept to a minimum, the owner of the trailer where the source of the fire started has now been deemed missing by officials. Ruth's pictures pops up on screen. Her age, name, and general information like her height and weight are listed. If anyone has any information on Ruth Aspen's whereabouts, please contact the number listed below. The rest of her words are lost in your ears as you register what they're saying. She was alive and holding a gun the last time you saw her. So what happened after you lost consciousness? An even bigger question is why Adam of all people is showing you this. What? You say slowly, your hands tangling in the fabric of your blankets. Did you do to her? Adam lifts the remote and turns off the TV. What do you think I did? And when you see that smirk on his face, you know he must have killed her. While you were passed out, he killed her and then set the place ablaze before bringing you here. He wanted you to know she was dead. You bastard. You're springing out of your bed, the IVs tearing out of your arms as you grip Adam by the front of his shirt. The photos drift to the floor amidst the chaos. You killed her! You killed my aunt! Try shoving him backwards, but he remains firmly in place. Rage makes you see red, and you're reaching behind you in search of anything you can throw at him. Find a small vase fitted with a fake potted plant. Perfect! Chuck the ceramic at his head with all your pent-up rage, wanting to ruin him for what he's done. Adam dodges the attack with ease. The vase shatters against the wall, and Adam watches you with blatant detachment as you storm up to him and beat on his chest. You try tearing into him, wanting him to feel just as much anguish as your aunt probably felt in her final moments, wanting to convey how awful it must have been, but unable to. She's dead. She's really dead. All because you were trying to find a place to hide, but you wound up dragging her into this entire mess, and now she's gone. There's not 1 ounce of regret on this man's face over it. She had nothing to do with this and you killed her. You ignore the strain of your injuries and your body's cries of complaints as you rampage on the man who feels the need to destroy everything in his path. Your rage is white hot. It almost drowns out the guilt eating away at you. It was self-defense. No, because Saffron was the one who did it. The knowledge that your presence brought on her death. It doesn't matter whether she was a good or bad person. What matters is that you involved her in your ongoing feud with Adam. She died as a result. I wouldn't really call this a feud. I would call this like a horrible matter. Like, I don't know. Feud is just not the word, you know? This war, I can't even call it a war. This attack from Adam. Like, it's... I don't even know. But I wouldn't call it a feud, because that implies that you're doing something to him, and you're really not. You wanted me, so why the fuck did you have to take her life instead? Hands circle your wrists as Adam restrains you and holds your balled-up fists away from his body, restricting your movement like a set of manacles. He tips his head up. She did what no one should ever do. He says as he leans closer to you, his voice dipping to what dangerous octave you know so well by now. She got in my way. I don't know if either of these matter, but, I'll kill you for this. I'll make you pay for what you've done. I'll kill you for this. I'll kill you for this. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but the first chance I get, I'm coming to kill you. I wouldn't expect anything less from someone like you. You tear your wrists from Adam's grasp, pitting him with a glare that doesn't even begin to describe the hatred you feel for him. He's making you into the worst possible version of yourself. Never in your wildest dreams did you want someone to suffer so badly. But Adam, I feel like this is a route switch, isn't it? He likes you. Yeah, we're gonna be lovers. You gladly watch this man get what's coming to him, a full-on pegging session. As you take another step back, eyes roaming around the room for another projectile, your foot makes contact with something glossy. The photos. Peer down at them. Let me take a wild guess. These are for blackmailing me, right? Proof that I was the last one seen at the place of a potential crime? Adam smirks. As I said, they're insurance. You refuse to cooperate, and those pictures will get leaked to law enforcement. It's as simple as that. What about your traces of DNA? Adam looks at his nails, unimpressed by your attempts to ruffle him. Why would that even be good blackmail? You're gonna kill me. Like, do you honestly think you're gonna let me go free? Do you think you're giving me that impression? He answers your question with a response that pretty much confirms your earlier suspicions. I have people in high places. There may have been someone at the scene who scrubbed any evidence of me away. Who's to say? You're right in not reporting to law enforcement. You doubted they would have been any actual help, and you can only imagine how much worse your fate would have been. They probably would have tried to pin you with some ludicrous stalking charge and attempted murder as soon as you stepped through the damn door. Still, maybe if you had, Ruth would still be alive. You ball your hands into fists, glaring up at him. She should have just drove to Canada. Or Mexico, one of the two. And if I don't care, then we go with the second option. He closes the gap between you two, his large frame eating up your entire field of vision until he's all you can see. It's like he wants to consume your entire world, leaving just himself at the center of your focus so that no one else can take your attention away. Which sounds about right for this obsessive asshole. I've got word that you were traveling to meet someone after you stopped by your aunt's, leading me to suspect that it was likely another relative or a friend, someone you're close to. There's not a lot of records on your aunt considering she was desperate to hide herself. So much so that she married your uncle in order to change her last name, to make it that much harder to find and identify her. But I did happen to find her divorce records. Adam's smile broadens into one of cold cruelty and you stiffen at the sight. This seems to spur him on. Catch a whiff of lavender as Adam leans closer, the smell further unsettling you since you've grown used to the copper tang of blood that always seems to follow him wherever he goes. Try not to react, knowing that's what he is aiming for by invading your space like this. But you're unable to save face when he asks his next question. How's he doing, by the way? Your uncle, I mean. Don't you dare. Wouldn't I? He barricades you between his arms, gripping the railing of the hospital bed as he cocks his head in a mocking fashion. If you don't cooperate, who knows what I might do to your uncle. I'm capable of doing anything. Your aunt's dead and buried because of me, so what's stopping me from taking another? Leave my uncle out of this. Then how are you going to stop me, little devil? Because as I see it, You either have a choice to fucking behave, or I tie you down so you can watch as I slit his throat. Wow. Okay. So tell me, what's it going to be? Why don't we go with option C, where I stick these photos up your You're cut off mid-sentence as the door to your room swings open, and a doctor with peppered hair in his early 30s walks in holding a clipboard. Behind him, a familiar figure follows after. Emerald green eyes swoop over the scene before him. It looks like he's puzzling something out, the way he takes in the pictures on the floor, and Adam's arms caging you in. Dr. Boone, could you please give us a moment alone? Doctor peers up from his clipboard, appearing surprised, his eyes taking in the IVs you ripped out of your arms when you leapt out of your bed. You can see him warring with something before finally nodding. Oh, he's a nice doctor, at least. He tucks the clipboard under his arm. Yes, of course. Please contact the nurse's station if you need anything from me, and I do mean anything. There's a look of mutual understanding between the two. Saffron gives the doctor a pleasant smile. I'm not sure that's necessary, but I appreciate the offer. Thank you, Dr. Boone. Dr. Bone. The doctor nods before leaving, paying you, the patient, no mind. Oh, cool. Just what you wanted. A doctor willing to get rid of the skeletons in Saffron's closet, one of which will no doubt be yours. Isn't friendship sweet? You shake your head with a sardonic smile. Trapped alone in the hospital room with two serial killers and a doctor willing to look the other way. What could go wrong? I beg your pardon. I'm a cannibal. It's nothing. I don't do the dirty work. And you can drop the prim and proper act, considering I now know you and Mr. Obsessed and Repressed are working in cahoots. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. This is how I always conduct myself. Ah. So he's just this creepy all the time. Adam draws away from you, eyes never leaving Saffron. What are you doing here? Considering they'll be under the guise of working with me as Cake's social media manager, I figured it was best if I come. Say what now? Social media manager? What are you talking about? I was informed you're well equipped in navigating social media and handling content, as well as taking photo ops and the like because of what you do for a living. Since you'll help Adam for the foreseeable future, we need a plausible reason for you to spend time with him. As such, you'll help Adam while under the guise of working to curate our social media. Okay, but that doesn't answer what Adam really needs me for. That picture I showed you. Do you remember it? Yeah. Kind of hard to forget when he shoved it in your face and demanded details on what you knew about the woman in the photo. I'm looking for one of the women in it. You mean the one with the curly brown hair who looks like you? Adam's gaze narrows and his jaw ticks. No. I'm searching for the woman standing next to your aunt, the one with the blonde hair. What does that have to do with me? You're one of the few people alive connected to Ruth, and because of that, you're one of the only leads I have to finding this woman. What, so you expect that she told me about her personal life and I'll know something about the woman you're looking for? Saffron's gaze flickers to Adam for a brief moment, so quick you almost miss it. That look just now. Are you saying you have no information on this woman? None at all. He steps forward and there's a faint gleam in his eye, like a wolf that's just seen an injured rabbit, ready to go in for the kill. It's clear as day is what he's thinking. Adam can sense it too by the way he stiffens. Don't. He maneuvers his body so that he's practically standing in front of you, almost acting like a shield. Also, I was reading their character statistics, and Adam is 6'4", and Saffron is 6'5". And I was just like, Jesus, what are these giant men doing, man? Never in your life did you think that the man who stabbed and hunted you down would act as a protective presence, but here you are, alive to witness it. Maybe this is more of a, this is my prey sort of ordeal. Adam dances between hot and cold half the time to a point where you're pretty sure even he's confused on what he wants. Oh, he is. He's probably a bisexual. It's fine. Not to mention that he literally just threatened to kill your uncle. But at least you're no longer face to face with hungry eyes over there. You're taking your wins where you can get them at this point. I'm simply asking a question and all I desire is an answer. I would assume inquiries are needed if we're to see if they'll provide any use. Otherwise, what's the point in letting them linger? They'll provide use. How can you be certain when they haven't even confirmed whether or not they know anything? You're putting a lot of stock into them, Adam, and I'm beginning to question the real reasoning as to why you're so insistent on keeping them around. The room goes silent. You can practically feel Adam eyeing the knife he wedged into the table. Oh, great. Is there going to be bloodshed between these two? Because if that's the case, you don't want any part of it and would like to get off the ride. Thanks. Maybe you should bail while they're distracted. Oh yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah, let's bail. Bail, surely no one will notice. Stay here, leaving is a bad idea for a number. Leave, yeah, let's leave. While the two men are locked in a battle of wills, you inch towards the door. You've got a small window of opportunity until one of them notices. This might be your only chance to get away again. All you need to do is stay quiet before booking it once you're out of the room. Then you can try and go from there. Easy peasy, right? Yeah, right. Your hand inches towards the handle, your heart thumping as your fingers wrap around the cold knob, waiting for Saffron or Adam to glance over and catch you before you've even got a head start. When neither of them notice, you inch the door open. It's a tedious and anxiety-inducing task. Your hands sweating with perspiration. You got the door opened a quarter of the way before you peek into the congested hallway. Outside, there's nurses and doctors bustling past, alongside patients who are either strapped to gurneys or are following nurses towards their designated rooms. A woman lying on one of those gurneys has multiple stab wounds to her chest. The front of her shirt is torn and red blooms along the faded white material, and the stains fanning out from her injuries like the stamen on a spider lily. Unfocused gaze drifts towards you, her eyes glossy. You can't move. You've forgotten your original intention for opening the door. What? What do you mean? Because looking at this woman, you're reminded of your Aunt Ruth, and no doubt the torture she had likely endured because of Adam. Did she suffer like this? Lying on the cold, hard floor of her trailer, pleading for help while you lay unconscious and unaware of what was happening to her. Adam's words trickle through your mind. How are you going to stop me, little devil? Because as I see it, you either have a choice to fucking behave or I tie you down, so you can watch as I slit his throat. How could you forget? If you leave now with any sort of plan, your uncle faces the same fate your aunt did. Call him or try to warn him, but knowing Adam and his relentless nature, he'll burn the entire world down in order to get what he wants. You want to escape this man, but you can't right now. Frustration wells inside of you, and you can feel something crack, start of a fissure beginning to spread with the added pressure of this knowledge. I can't do. You jerk backwards as a knife embeds itself into the wall in front of you. Slowly turn to meet Adam's gaze, his eyes flashing red with barely concealed anger as he lowers his throwing arm. Where the fuck do you think you're going? It's a simple question, one you'd usually respond to with sarcasm, but you can't seem to find your voice. Just to the loo, you know, the bathroom. Your eyes travel back towards the knife. It's the same one that killed Ruth, the same one that he'll use to kill your uncle if you choose to escape. Grip your head with one hand, trying to catch your breath, but all you can imagine is the blood on your family coating that blade. You question. Familiar hand grips your shoulder and you slap it away. Your eyes landing on Adam, whose eyes fly wide with surprise at your visceral response. Keep your fucking hands off of me. Adam's jaw ticks as he jerks the knife from where he threw it before slamming his hand over your head, shutting the door in the process. Then don't try to fucking leave. You already know what will happen if you do. I'm more than aware. You hiss under your breath, earning one more glare from Adam, before he turns to face Saffron, who watches the two of you with quiet interest. Now what I want to know, he says, leveling his knife in Saffron's direction, forcing the conversation back on topic, is why you're so hell-bent on questioning me, when I already explained everything to you earlier. You and I both know that just because they don't remember anything right now, doesn't mean they won't prove useful or remember something later down the line. And because of that, I'm not letting you fucking touch them. They're my only lead to getting my answers. If that's the case, then couldn't you say the same about the man Ruth was formerly married to? I'd say he'd know far more than they do. Which leads me to my other fucking point. He jerks his thumb over his shoulder in your direction. Stop jerking it, man! Stretch. Even on the off chance they can't recall anything, they can still provide me an opportunity to speak with their uncle or any other possible family members who might know more about Ruth's past. Yes, I could cut my losses and torture the fucker. But if there's a chance he's anything like Ruth, he'll die,
and I'll wind back up at square one. If I go about it this way, there's less of a chance for me to lose the lead I already have, and can utilize them as a means of getting their family to open up about what they know. You of all people should know how important connections are. So there, is that a good enough fucking reason as to why I'm keeping them alive? Or are you going to ask more stupid fucking questions? There's a moment of silence, and despite Adam standing between the two of you, you can still feel Saffron's ravenous gaze by the way your skin crawls. Your suspicions are confirmed when you peer around Adam and are greeted by emerald green eyes staring straight at you. You resist the urge to curl your lip in repulsion. Saffron's looking at you like a piece of decadent cake placed on a shelf that's just out of reach. You know, some people think you're a snack, but Saffron's taking it way too far. Adam notices the same thing because he shifts so that you're out of the other man's line of sight. It's subtle, but Saffron's eyes narrow as he's forced to focus on Adam again. I see, he says at last. Something off about how he says it too. Like he's starting to piece together a puzzle he couldn't figure out before, and now it's all coming together thanks to that one gesture. You feel like Adam just started a catalyst. You're not sure for what quite yet, but you know something has changed, and you're afraid of the consequences that will follow. If that's all, then leave. As I've stated before, I came here to explain what they'll be doing under my leadership. And where in that sentence? Adam says as he eats up the distance between him and Saffron in 3 quick strides. Did I ask? I was making a statement, a command, not a request. Leave. Now. Saffron sighs like he's dealing with a teenager demanding his father get out of his room rather than someone who can potentially murder him. Oh, very well. But Adam doesn't wait for the singer to respond as he clamps a hand down on his shoulder. I think you're forgetting one very important detail, and I think it's best I remind you of that now before you forget. His next words are muted as he whispers something in Adam's ear. Man, he is fucking hungry, man. He's so hungry. Whatever he's saying makes Adam go rigid. His hands ball into fists and the veins in his arms pop out as he restrains himself, no doubt itching to lash out in the most violent way possible. You're surprised he doesn't. While you can't make out what Saffron's saying, you're sure it's got something to do with you by the way Saffron refuses to break eye contact. You want to look away. But then Saffron's lips begin to tug up at the corners, and the slow, eerie smile begins to split his face apart. You forget how to breathe. The entire world stills, and you feel like you just hopped onto the set of some horror movie. You get the insane urge to grab the metal chair Adam was sitting in earlier and beat the ever-living shit out of Saffron with it until he crumples to the floor. You don't care if your stitches break in the process. This evil needs to go. You've seen enough horror movies to know how this ends. Oh yeah, cannibalism. You've got to exorcise this guy real quick, unless you want your decapitated head acting as the centerpiece for a table spread made from your severed limbs. Okay, he's Hannibal. You'll need to wait until a later date, though. You've got other things to prioritize first, like ensuring your uncle's safety. I'm pretty sure he's Hannibal. He's not the bloody painter. You're good. Then you can take care of the big bad. Not today, Cannibal Lecter. Not today. It's Hannibal, but okay. Saffron seems to acknowledge this as well because he draws away from Adam, his sinister smile replaced by his usual polite disposition. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other matters to attend to. Please take care. Adam remains quiet as Saffron brushes past him. Doesn't even react when the door closes behind his manager with a soft click, leaving the two of you alone. He's so still you wonder if he's even breathing. Poke the proverbial bear. Yeah, let's poke him. Let's poke this guy's ass. Let's poke that booty. Poke it. You've got to. Because at least you know what you're in for when he's annoyed. Why, yes, Adam. That floor is looking very floor today. Lo and behold, the comment works. Adam lifts his head, his eyebrows furrowing into an angry V. Do you ever shut the fuck up? Haha. There's the asshole we all know and would like to run over with a truck. Now, are you done brooding over your short little ASMR session with Saffron? Are you going to continue standing there? Because I would like to take a nap if you don't mind. There's nothing stopping you from sleeping. Oh yes, because I can totally sleep knowing there's a stab-happy man in the same room as me. You give him a pointed look. Adam's jaw ticks. I'm not leaving this room. Well then sit down so I don't feel like Nosferatu is looming over me. I'm not a vampire. Oh yeah, you could have fooled me. Oh, but you look like it. The inverted cross, your dark purple aesthetic, and let's not forget your gloomy, nobody understands me attitude. Really reads like you were ripped out of some shitty Breaking Brawn fanfic. Breaking Brawn fanfic. You yawn as you slip back into your bed, leaning back against the swath of pillows, the strain on your body finally registering. Jeez. Shot and then stabbed within days of each other. It's a wonder how you survived everything. Either way, at least you can rest in an actual bed now instead of the front seat of your car. Despite your claims about struggling with sleep with Adam in the same room, you're close to passing out when the singer speaks. Hey. You groan, not even bothering to open your eyes. What now? Didn't I make it clear that I'm trying to sleep? Just listen. It's important. Adam pauses and you hear the sound of him picking something up. Whatever you do, don't let yourself get caught in a situation where you're alone with Saffron. Understand? His words are harsh, but there's something else too. If you were dumber, you'd mistake it for genuine worry. This is Adam you're talking about. Crack open and he's back to peeling apples. Crack open an eyelid and discover he's resumed peeling the apple he started in on earlier. Do I look like I have a death wish? Yes or no? It's a simple question. Yes. Happy? Adam doesn't respond, his eyes boring into yours as he searches for a lie within your response. Is this guy serious right now? Starting to make your head hurt again. Oh, he's worried, even though we just said he's not. Would you like to hear how much I prefer chewing off my own foot over sitting alone in a room with that guy? Do you really think I'm that stupid? You tell me. I just did. Well, I'm just fucking asking because I'm stupid as shit. A small condescending smirk tugs at his mouth. This is the first time you and I have ever seen eye to eye on something. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not see eye to eye when you tried to murder me? Little devil. Saffron. What does he even mean by that, man? Saffron finds his old friend waiting for him within the ER security room. Well, it's rare for hospitals to have such a setup. Dr. Boone ensures that no one was put in place for a number of reasons. None of them are for ethical reasons. Dr. Boone watches the monitors as a man thrashes around on a gurney, wailing his head off, screaming for help. It's a useless endeavor. The hospital is set up with a number of soundproof rooms for disruptive patients. He's wasting his breath, though he's unaware of the fact. The patient's thrashing gets worse as the surgeon approaches him, tugging on their plastic gloves while their eyes glimmer with morbid fascination. Someone on the standby holding a bag full of liquid meant to preserve the organs they pull from the patient. Ah, they're Mexican. Nice. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. That was a bad joke of taste, okay? Don't worry. Most surgeons will do this, okay? They will steal your organs, okay? Anywhere. White ones, you know, anybody, okay? The surgeon turns on the overhead light. I really hope I don't talk someone out of taking surgery one day with that one comment. Like, I'm just like, yeah, guys, don't worry. You go in for surgery for like a knee replacement, you're gonna walk out without a kidney. What can you do? And the operation begins as Saffron stands beside Dr. Boone. I assume all is running smoothly. Yes, we're a well-oiled machine, especially thanks to your help. Your connections have done wonders for this facility and our finances. Who knew selling organs was so profitable? Dr. Boone turns to Saffron. But I know you're not here to soak up praise for your efforts. I assume things went as expected. Correct. Saffron watches the surgeon on screen with a critical eye as he makes his first cut on the patient. Still awake and thrashing around. Blood bubbles up from where he's cut, and Saffron tries to ignore the gnawing hunger stemming from his gut. Your face, the tender shape of your body, make him feel insatiable. I purposefully provoked Adam, and I learned a few interesting details while observing him. He's become defensive of his mark, and I believe he's formed an unhealthy attachment to their presence. Getting them alone won't be easy. Dr. Boone sighs. I apologize for not realizing sooner. I would have never put them through surgery had I known. That's no fault of your own, and it's likely Adam would have laid the blame on me had things gone conveniently south. I was surprised when he came in without you. I assume you had other matters to attend to. Yes, and I'm beginning to understand why it was asked that I do this discreetly. If I outright kill them without some forethought, it's anyone's guess what Adam will do given his nature. Saffron lets his gaze momentarily drift over to Dr. Boone. Adam has never shown this level of interest in anyone, so I need to put a plan in place that allows for his attachment to disintegrate entirely. Then, when their bond is severed, I can do what's necessary. And I'm assuming you've got something in mind. You catch on quick, old friend. Saffron smiles as he looks back at the CCTV footage. I've known you long enough to pick up on your train of thought, but as I've said before, I'm here if you need anything. I'm aware, and I'll call upon you when the time is right. But first, I must focus on laying out the groundwork. Then, when they're no longer under Adam's protection, Saffron allows his fingers to trail along the screen of the computer monitor where the patient lies unresponsive. The man's gone limp as the surgeon pulls aside the cut-out flaps of skin, pinning them in place, exposing the soft intestines and chunks of flesh waiting underneath. But it's not the man Saffron sees lying there. It's the person he craves most in the world. You. His fingers flex as he drags his nails down the screen, imagining you splayed out beneath him, your chest an open cavern, your ribs cracked and parted, your intestines glistening under the glow of the fluorescent lighting. A fruit ripe for the taking. And once he's done everything he needs to in order to pluck you, I'll let myself indulge in the most wonderful feast.
Back to me. Back to you. He's a bit horny for the meat. Park Bend Emergency Department, 3 p.m. Bye, Peachy. Have a good one. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks? Really? Over the next few weeks of recovery, your well-being is ensured by the ER staff. You don't see Dr. Boone again. Saffron only shows up when he goes over the details of your arrangement. Adam is a different story. He visits every single day. Most of the time he sits in silence. Oh my god, he really cares for us, chat. Most of the time he sits in silence like a careful watchdog, and other times he's sharpening his blade or cutting into an apple that he leaves you slices of. He never eats them himself. He's on apple 300 now. You wonder if the man ever sleeps because every time you wake up he's staring at you, his gaze unwavering. Sometimes you get into arguments about it. Other times you attempt to ignore it. Oh my god, that's so cute. They're like bickering like old people. I could change him. Notice how you didn't say fix him. Do you not think something is wrong? Mostly because whenever you get too riled up, you start getting headaches, although you're not sure why. The doctors suspect it's due to anemia after the loss of so much blood, though they're surprised there's no other outside factors paired with it, all things considered. You should have died back there, but somehow you managed to pull through. When the time finally comes for you to leave the hospital, it's both a relief and a concern. A relief because you'll no longer be tied down to a hospital bed, but a concern because you're going to meet the rest of Adam's band, the other members of Cake, King, Ethan, and Kane. You recall seeing them plastered alongside Adam on numerous billboards and articles and social media outlets. They all appear close on screen, friendly even. You can only imagine what they're really like. Can't imagine anyone hanging around Adam or Saffron and not having homicidal tendencies. No, they're kind of chill. Kane is cool too, I say for right now. You shudder at the idea of surrounding yourself with such violent men and try not to think about it as you tuck yourself further into the backseat of the car Saffron picked you up in. Adam keeps eyeing you through the rear-view mirror. Don't even think of fucking trying to jump out, he says when you catch him looking at you for the 1000th time. Oh yeah, that's so easy with the child-proof safety locks turned on, you say and rattle the door handles for emphasis. Totally making my grand escape. Boopa. Given your personality, I wouldn't put it past you to get so desperate that you'd try breaking out through the window. Yeah, instead of hitting the door handle, I should be tapping that booba. Just slap, slap, honka, honka. You think he would do anything, chat? You think he would stop me if I just like grabbed his booba and just honked it? Honka honka? Probably not. He'd probably be like, what are you doing? Good to know that you realize I would rather be a bug on someone else's windshield than deal with your presence in a confined space. And for your information, I've been signaling cars passing by while mouthing SOS while you weren't looking.
The look Adam gives you is scathing. You smirk at him. All I'm asking is that you fucking behave yourself and to not act like a fox with its legs stuck in a trap. Ugh. This again. You sigh before resting your head against the car window. The world flies by in a blur, the familiarity of the city doing nothing to bring you comfort. You ache for the days when you didn't feel fear for your life. Look, I already agreed to work with you and hungry eyes over there in return for my uncle's safety. If I was going to run, don't you think I would have done so already? Considering you're recovered for the most part, I wouldn't put it past you to come up with some stupid escape plan. He's not wrong, but he doesn't need to know you're just biding your time until you can find your way out of this fucked up situation. You rub the bridge of your nose, wording yourself carefully. Outright lying just pisses him off, and you don't need the headache. We all know he would like it. I'm not going to take the risk of you following through with your threat, especially after learning what you did to my aunt. As I've said before, I'm not stupid. And Adam, just so we're clear, I would rather die before I fucking let you touch or drag another innocent person into this. Your gaze collides with his, and it's like two swords getting locked into a battle of wills, both of you refusing to back down against the other. Adam's gaze narrows. He opens his mouth, but his words are lost when Saffron clears his throat. He seethes his unspoken words, for now. The symphony dies down to a soft hum as Saffron interjects. If you two are finished, I would like to remind you both that you need to be on your best behavior. I've received word there's a slew of paparazzi waiting for us outside of the hotel, and would prefer to keep them from witnessing an argument between you two. What, you wouldn't pay them off? I would prefer not to, though I will if my hand is forced. But if that happens, I'm holding you accountable, and I do not care if Adam needs you. You intentionally messing up his image is not something I will tolerate. Okay, I get it. I already said I would behave myself. I was just curious. Turn your attention back to the window, and it's at that moment you realize you've reached the hotel. As Saffron said, there's a number of paparazzi on standby. Flashes of camera go off, and you blink, you're trying to clear out the stars from your eyes. You hear people screaming Adam's first name, his last name. It's a wonder your eardrums don't burst. Fucking nuisances. Adam mutters as Saffron pulls the car into the parking lot. Stay by my side, Saffron says, killing the engine as he speaks to you. Yeah, there's a few typos in this. Nuisances. Do not walk beside Adam. Keep your head down, and do not speak to anyone. We will follow behind Adam at the rear, and we'll keep that formation until we step inside the hotel and have reached our rooms. You can sort of guess why Saffron's giving you these instructions. If anyone sees you and Adam side by side, they might get the wrong idea and suspect you're not on his team, but his love. They're walking next to me. Adam, if I allow that, then deal. Pay the paparazzi off. I don't care what you have to do. They stay with me. I like the baldy. Saffron's hands grip the steering wheel. I think he's about to argue, especially considering how he just berated you about messing up Adam's image. He's clearly not one to back down, even when facing off with Adam. If that singular interaction back at the hospital when you first woke up is anything to go by. Brace yourself for a verbal sparring match, but to your surprise, Saffron relaxes his shoulders. As you wish, he says before he turns off the childproof safety locks. Yippee! Your mouth almost drops. What's with the sudden shift in behavior? Doesn't make sense. Because this is a small deal. You don't get much time to think about it, as you're forced to step out of the car in order to catch up with them, and are immediately bombarded with flashes of light and shouting. You freeze on the spot. Oh fuck. You've never encountered anything like this. It's like you've entered a whole other world entirely. A hand touches your shoulder and you find Adam smiling down at you, his stage persona on and firmly in place. You almost snort by how ridiculous this feels. Walk beside me so you don't get lost, okay? He says and then starts guiding you behind two security guards who part the way for your small party. Mr. Godden, who is that standing beside you? Mr. Godden, is that your lover? Mr. Godden, when will your tour resume? Mr. Godden, is it true that you won Sexiest Man of the Year? Mr. Godden! The shouts are coming from all around you. You want to cover your ears and distance yourself from the chaos, your body humming with major discomfort, but you force yourself to keep walking. They're so loud that they're pulling an pulling in onlookers who lose their shit once they take notice of Adam. Arms stretch out, fingers grab at the open air, flashes keep going off. It's almost too much to bear. Breathe. You think to yourself, just a simple inhale and exhale. Try to draw in air, but you're suffocating because of the atmosphere. It's so bad that your hands are starting to shake as anxiety zips through you. It's even worse seeing Adam relaxed and in his element. He dips his head in acknowledgement to the crowd, but does not answer any of the questions thrown at him. How does anyone get used to this? At least with your work and mask, you remain anonymous. You're not a fan of all this attention, even if you're not the one they're here for. You scrunch your eyes closed. We're almost there, little devil. Adam murmurs. It's a wonder how you can hear him. Just keep looking forward and ignore the fucking pests. They aren't worth getting worked up over, so unclench your teeth and shoulders. You blink before peering up at him. Holy shit, are you actually giving me a pep talk right now? Is this the signal for the end of days? You feign shock and glance around. Just stop acting like an idiot. Adam says, keeping the amicable mask on while his lowered voice expresses anything but. I'm only saying this because you passing out in the middle of a crowd would be obnoxious and inconvenient. Don't mistake my words for genuine fucking care. I figured as much, because being nice and genuine would probably cause you to burst into flames. Don't worry, I'm not stupid enough to believe you have a single humane bone in your body. We've already established that from the first time we met. Everyone watching this believes otherwise, by the way. Speaking of which, what? He demands, noticing the way you're now eyeing him. Just spit whatever you're thinking out already. Can I just know why? Why what? You look off towards the crowd, but instead of a throng of bodies, you recall that day you met on the highway. The sharp, agonizing pain in your shoulder. Coppery scent of blood. Adam's condescending smile. Your jaw sets. Why did you attack me? You finally ask, bringing the unanswered question that plagues you to light. Why do you and Saffron want me dead? Was this just a one-off thing and I just managed to escape? Was this organized? Originally, I thought you were just some serial killer getting his kicks off of hurting innocent people because he could. But now... Shake your head. Does it have something to do with my aunt? No matter how hard I try to piece it together, I just can't. No. You were a one-off target, and then you became connected to his actual goal. None of this makes any sense to me. Your temple hurts so bad as you ruminate in these thoughts, but you need answers. You're tired of not having them. After all of this, you deserve at least one. Why does it matter? Adam doesn't look at you, his own gaze distant as if he's seeing the same thing you're seeing. Because I think I deserve to know how and why I ended up here, instead of continuing on with my life in blissful ignorance, or you're just some famous celebrity I only hear about. Adam considers for a minute, his eyes trailing up to Saffron, almost as if sensing his gaze. Saffron glances over his shoulder, and it feels like there's a silent exchange. Saffron returns his attention back around. You see Adam's fists clench, and you wonder briefly what's going on between the two. I can't tell you that. Adam says at last. You can't or you won't. Can't it be both? He snaps, keeping his voice low so the crowd doesn't overhear him. I don't know why you're so stubborn about shit, but sometimes it's best to leave things alone if you know what's fucking good for you. His eyes slice over to yours. Because when it comes to everything else surrounding me, ignorance is bliss, little devil. Don't ask questions you won't like the answers to. You're making this sound bigger than it just being you and Saffron. Both step through the glass doors of the hotel, and with Adam's back to the crowd, his facade drops in an instant. He smirks. I'd suggest not digging too deep, little devil. Oh god, not this guy. He says as you both approach the elevator where Saffron awaits. One of his arms folded behind his back, while the other hovers over one of the buttons on the operating panel. He too smiles. While Adam's was a warning, Saffron's is a promise. Almost as if he knows the floor he's taking you to will change your worldview forever. Almost as if he knows he's dragging you into a new hell, and there's no coming back from it. You and Adam both step into place beside Saffron, facing the elevator doors as Saffron presses the button and they close in front of you. Right as Adam finally says, because maybe it is. Triple question mark! No, it's Kane! No! There's a sickening wet thump from inside the alleyway, followed by the sound of something heavy getting drug. Dark form towers over the shape of another. He's got his hands wrapped around the limp figure's wrists. They're purple and bruised like someone broke them. Jagged cuts that look like they were made from the serrated edges of a knife stare up at him. Loser. 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 They overlap one another, the blood still fresh from where the words were carved in, engraved into the corpse's skin like ghastly tattoos. The man whimpers and he screws his eyes shut as he drags empty husk further in. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. Kane's the one dragging the body. Nice. Let's go. He didn't mean to. He didn't mean to do it. Oh, I love that. He swears on his life that he didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He wishes he could take it back. He wishes he could rewind time and tell himself not to enter the bar and down that last shot of whiskey. But it's too late, and now he's here. Yeah! Kane is a murderer too! I thought he was clean. I thought the other boys were clean, but they're not. All I can remember is the alcohol going down smooth, the dancing, someone pushing him into the bathrooms. He recalls someone's tongue slipping into his mouth, his hands on their waist, their fingers tugging at his hair. He doesn't know if the person was a man or a woman or non-binary. He doesn't even know if it was the corpse now lying at his feet. He doesn't know how he got here. The serial killer Avengers for a boy band? Easy. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. Easy. You just join a cult full of murderers and you just pick the hottest ones. He says as he peers down at the corpse, a sob ripping through his chest when he sees their glassy eyes. Didn't mean to do it again. I thought it would get better if I joined. I thought I'd be saved. He ducks his head as his feelings of guilt swell in his chest, constricting him like chains, dragging him down into an abyss he can't break free from. I never thought it would turn out like this. I swear I didn't. I thought God would save me. Yeah, he's a part of the cult too. Another sob tears through him. Yellow light flickers overhead as the form passes underneath its glow. The man with the tips of his hair dyed green and eyes portraying an eternal state of exhaustion lifts his head up to the skies, his bottom lip quivering. I like this photo. He begs for someone, anyone to please save me. To be contondered! Okay, wait, can I just save here and then I get a free save, please? Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, to be contondered. He is hot bloody. I like that one. I'm gonna put that in the thumbnail. Hell yeah. I'm putting Kane in the thumbnail. I don't give a shit. I love Kane. Kane's my favorite boy band member. Alright. Kane rules. I love murder. Alright, let's run it back just a tiny little bit. Okay, just a tiny little bit. I'll make you pay for what you've done. Okay? Maybe I can't kill you, but I'll certainly do my best to make you live your life an absolute living nightmare. You know why, Adam? Because I know your one true weakness, and I'm going to do everything in my power to use it against you. I'm just going to really quickly go through the other options, okay? The word sparks something behind the darkened depths of those eyes. I wouldn't expect anything less from a little fucking devil. Skip. Stay here. Leaving is bad for a number of reasons. For one, you're still injured and recovering. 2, Adam just threatened your uncle and you don't want to put another one of your relatives in harm's way again. 3, Saffron is pals with one of the doctors here, and that same doctor essentially hinted at doing anything Saffron asked of him, which probably includes murder. And last but not least, reason number 4, the strangest of them all, Adam is no longer a physical threat to you. While it's clear he wants to kill you, what happened in the trailer proved he can't. He wants you physically. And because of that desire, no doubt birthed from the kiss you planted on him, he's intent on keeping you away from Saffron, who poses a threat to your life. That much you're certain of. So for the time being, it's best to take care of all of the above into account and stay where you are. This is the perfect moment in time to rest and then plan ahead. When Adam speaks after a long pause, his voice takes on that familiar, threatening quality. Only it's not directed at you this time. What I want to know, Adam says, his voice dripping with acid. Oh, okay. Same. Ignore him, the bed calls to you. As long as he's not bothering you, you're good with anything. Push yourself over the bed railing and wince as you lie back against your swath of pillows. Body finally registers the strain of your injuries and hiss through your teeth as you rest a hand over your side from where your aunt shot you. Jeez. Shot and then stabbed within days of each other. So I wonder how you survived everything. Close your eyes, beginning to drift when you hear an irritating voice. And that's the same. Alright. I think that's just all the other options. So not too much in the last episode. Double hydrate. Can I get a hydrate, please? Okay. Okay, everybody. That is You and Him, Chapter 4, all routes. Because there's no other endings, I don't think. There's just nothing going on there. I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Clock, if you forgot. And please, if you're new here, please clock that like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If you like yandere visual novels, I play a lot of them. I'll leave a link to a playlist of just visual novels with lots of yandere games I've played in it. And I will probably play more in the future. And I will totally play the rest of this game as it comes out eventually, okay? It's pretty great. I really enjoyed the rewrite, actually. I think it was worth the replay. I actually do think it was worth the replay. It was really good. The new CG art, or like the updated CG art, because some of the CGs were just a little different than the old ones, I noticed. And there was new CGs as well, which is awesome to see. And I'm loving the story unfurling. I'm not gonna lie, this is where it actually starts to get a little more interesting to me. I like the killer side, but we had so much of the killer, so much of that for the last, like, days, chapters. Now we're finally getting into this, like, back and forth between the little bit of bickering and, like, you know, I don't want to say romance, but, you know, we get a little bit into the meat of the mystery as well. And now we actually get to make some progress in the story rather than just, like, for the last 3 chapters, like, he's after us, he's after us, he's after us, you know? Breaking the cracks into the core of it. Yeah, exactly. We did get a little bit of that at the end of Chapter 3, though. So, Chapter 4, though, I really enjoyed. And moving forward, I think we're going to have some banger chapters. I don't know if... This chapter seemed to have the least amount of decisions that actually, like, mattered. Which I understand why, because you probably shouldn't be able to die in this chapter at all. But at the same time, I'm wondering if some of our choices are going to start to have a love meter now. Because I have a feeling, if there is, it would make sense, because if you piss off Adam too much, he's not going to protect you, and it'll lead to, like, different endings. But maybe not. Maybe you'll just have a very straight game, and that's fine with me. I'm perfectly fine with the story you want to tell. Straight, linear, that's fine, too. With a little bit of options. Yeah, long-term effects. But with that, anyways, thank you so much for watching, everybody. That's all I have to say. It's been great. I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please, it would help me a lot if you left a like, okay, on the video. Maybe comment. Who's your favorite boy band member, man? Mine is Kane, actually. I really like that last art, too. And with that, I'm clocking out. So I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.